Talking about that record, the first track on that is I Asked, which would later become the first track on Family Dinner Part 2 by Snarky Puppy. How do you get connected with Michael League, and when does he come to talk to you about, you being a featured artist on that record?
So here's a fun name drop. Snarky Puppy actually opened for me in 2008 or 9, I think, at Bowery Poetry Club. So my band was headlining, which is crazy to me that like this multi Grammy award winning super band opened for me way back then. But I knew those guys. Or, I had known them. I'd been on the scene with them, and I'm the same age as Mike, so we've been sort of doing this for
Hmm.
crossing paths and seeing each other at festivals and shows and in New York and stuff for however many years that is, 13, 14.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember thinking like, wow, these guys are really nice, and their band is cool and I like them. And then I heard through the grapevine about the Layla Hathaway ground up family dinner #1 Grammy. And then I got a phone call from Mike when I was babysitting my niece and nephew in New York City. We were at a toy store, and I remember I was like keeping an eye on them while having this call with Mike, and he was like, "Do you wanna be a featured guest on Family Dinner Volume 2?" And I was like, "Fuck yes!" And I was like, "Oops."
In the kid store, the toy store with all the children.
Yeah, it was like, "Oop." And on that same phone call, which probably was like a 4 minute long phone call, he was like, "So I was thinking, a couple things from Perfect Animal. Do you have any suggestions?" And I was like, "Maybe I Asked would be cool." And he was like, "I was thinking that one too. And then maybe Be Still as a bonus track." And I was like, "That sounds awesome." And it was done. Like all the business was done in like 4 minutes at a toy store. And then the next thing, he sent me like a demo that he'd made on Logic of his arrangement. I approved it. And then I came to New Orleans and played it with the band, and they already all knew their parts, and it was, seamless. Like everything that Mike does, it's so, so seamless. He's so quick and efficient. Amazing.
Were there any changes that he made in the arrangement of I Asked that you weren't like totally confident about, or maybe some changes that you maybe had wished that you had done in the original?
Yeah. There was a meter that he changed in one place because he felt like it was important that people could dance without switching feet. And I had a really hard time with that because part of my part of my practicing is getting my songs to a place where I'm no longer. I'm trying to think if it was deepa deepa da ba da dee da dee. I think that was the part that he oh, no. It was that's all I need. He added a beat instead of where I had like skipped a beat there, and I had a really hard time getting it in my fingers because when I practice, I try to get my guitar part to a place where I don't have to think about it at all, so that it's just choreography that's dialed into my body, so that I'm using it as like just this platform for me to focus more on the heavenly nether regions of vocal shit. And so anytime something gets changed that I've played live on stage or in the studio hundreds of times, then it's like I'll be like, okay, yeah, I got it, I'll do that. And then once I'm in performance headspace, it's like practical thought just goes out the window. But we ended up keeping that. Yeah, it's on the Snarky Puppy version. And then there was that just nasty bass line that he wrote that I wish I wrote. Boom, booty be don't.
That he plays on the Moog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I loved the outro drum solo. I thought that the like group worked as a really nice background for that. But yeah, no, it's also cool just to have a totally different version of that song out in the world.